How is the sound sounding? I think we should be alright. How many people we got in here? One person. That's absolutely brilliant, but all the streams got to start somewhere. Sorry that this stream is a little late. Chapter came out like mid last week and it's nearly mid this week. How is the sound sounding? I think we should Let's deal with that. Okay, yeah. Sorry, the stream's a bit late, but is what it is. Anyone who hadn't seen it yesterday for the April Fool's video was the first part of Record of Ragnarok, which, despite the minimal editing and the purposely bad artwork, it's purposely to look like that because I think it's funnier. That was the video itself didn't take a massive amount of time to do. It's more that I was really procrastinating and I thought I had way more time. So like, I only recorded it in 2 days last week, and the writing I was like jamming to get half of it written like last week as well. So was not good planning on my part, and because of that, a lot of my time last week, which I should have devoted to doing this stream and the chapter review, didn't happen because I was focusing on that video, and it's one of the lowest performing videos on the channel in recent times, which is great. But the people that did watch it enjoyed it, so that's all that matters. Skeletal Rose, as always, here nice and early. Great to see you, man. And Cass, good to hear the sound is good. Yeah, so God, chapter 88 came out last week. It's been so long, I haven't been focusing on the chapter, but yeah, chapter was a wild one. A lot of really well, we didn't get much of round 10 fighting, so I don't think there's much point discussing any of the Okuta and Susanoo stuff, because not really anything happens. It's more just a couple pages at the end of the chapter just to, show us that, the fight is still happening. But we got some really interesting, this is a real lore chapter, and it also did a lot of hyping up of characters, which I quite like. Skeletal Rose, honestly, it was really good. I assume you're talking about yesterday's video, Ragnarok. Thanks if you are. I think it came out quite well. Round 3, I think, was really rushed because bad time management. I wrote that round in a couple of hours. Yeah, I had one evening and I just cracked down and just got round 3 written. So it's not exactly how I was going to go about writing it, but it's my fault for leaving it too late. But I'm quite confident now. I haven't got this deadline and I know more how to approach it, that the rest of it, the other rounds to write, will be pretty good. Round 6 in particular, I'm really looking forward to writing, which should be the tail end of the second part whenever that comes out. So I'm excited to get down to writing that. Susanoo's the weakest god. We haven't seen much about Susanoo yet, so it's hard to say. I mean, I've got quite high stocks in Susanoo, so I think Susanoo is going to be one of the stronger gods. I mean, if we want to do the fun speed scaling, basically this is what it comes down to. If you want to purely use feats and no statements, then Okuta should be faster than Poseidon, because Ares could perceive the movement of Poseidon, hence after images. Couldn't perceive the movement of Okuta because he disappeared and reappeared. That's just how after images work. Okuta's just faster than Poseidon. Susanoo's as fast as him. Susanoo's faster than Poseidon. Now, narratively, I do not think that's what the story is trying to tell us, but if you want to go purely on feats, then yeah, that means Okuta is faster than Poseidon, which is interesting. But yeah, but Okuta having the upper hand for 3 chapters, that happens a lot in these fights. That it's quite common for characters to have the upper hand thing. And if anything, I'd argue that at the end of end of 87, when he was pulling out the sword god nonsense, Okuta did seem a little pressed there. So I don't think it's. And also, you have to remember at the beginning of 87, they're fighting pretty equally for a while, and Okuta and Susanoo hadn't even drawn his sword yet. So I think it's pretty equal so far, and I imagine next chapter, we'll either see Okuta really get the upper hand, or we'll see Susanoo, and then the chapter after we'll just see it swip. That's just generally how the back and forth goes these rounds. There's very few rounds where in nearly every round, characters are basically equals, if that makes sense. There's not many rounds where one character is massively stronger than the other. It just doesn't really happen. 4 stocks rising, yeah. 4 stocks have risen, Kentucky stocks have risen, and Hajun stocks have risen, and Buddha stocks have risen. Lots of stocks are rising in this chapter. The 4 ones are great. I mean, I'm a big proponent of the gods who have fought so far. Thor is the second strongest. Yeah, Thor's second strongest in my opinion. Odin might be stronger. We haven't seen him fight yet, but yeah, I have really high Thor stocks anyway, so it made sense to me. The Buddha stocks are interesting here because we basically have Beelzebub saying Buddha would beat him, which could either be Beelzebub being Beelzebub and he's lying, or it is just Zuri saying Buddha stronger, which I'd probably lean more towards Buddha just being stronger, just because, you know, the story likes wanking Buddha off. Buddha is just generally presented as an incredibly strong character, and, you know, now that we know now with like the Hajun wank that we got this chapter and Buddha beating him, and like the more emphasis Buddha's got in like recent story developments, I assume Buddha's just going to be a really, really strong god. I'd probably put him third strongest. Other gods that have fought, probably third strongest. He probably still going to remain top 5 by the end of the series. And Kentucky stocks are really up because, you know, I've always been a big proposer of Kentucky being the final fight of humanity. Odin's usually one of the most common picks for the final god. I was going for Susanoo. Clearly, I was wrong about that. But that does mean if I want Kentucky to be my final fighter, and Odin's quite likely, and this chapter them two staring each other down, I think it's quite a good likely choice that Odin versus Kentucky is a thing. If anything, this chapter just, you know, gave more foreshadowing and took out the question, the really dumb theory people had, that Kentucky would just have his fights during his investigation and not fight in the tournament, which I think is really dumb. He definitely will fight, and I'm pretty sure it'll be against Odin. Sorry, I went a big ramble there, and I'm letting chat get away from me. Sorry about that. Orcus have the upper hand for each other. Yeah, we did that. Divine Myriad is an awful skill. How is Divine Myriad an awful skill? Because he's a master of every sword style. And we have yet, like, Okuta, the way basically Okuta could be, in that his proficiency in one style makes him superior. So, you know, jack of all trades, master of none, really skilled. But we've seen so little of the fight. We just had a couple pages of them fighting at the end of this chapter to really, you know, hammer home anything definitive about how their styles kind of match up to each other. And again, it's so early in the match that I don't think we can draw any conclusions on who's generally stronger at this point. To start off with, who do you think could be a primordial god? I've been seeing Gaia could be one. Gaia can't be one because Gaia's already showed up in the manga, right? Yeah, because I could be wrong. I'm almost certain Gaia's involved in the Hades flashback, right? Gaia led the... Yeah, Gaia's a canon thing. And if they know about Gaia, then it would assumably mean Gaia's not one of the primordials, just because, you know, the gods don't seem... The gods generally don't seem to know about the primordials. They see them as myth, and if they fought Gaia, that would impose they aren't. So I don't mean Gaia. Uranus though could be a potential one. I don't know. I'm not gonna be optimistic enough to say that we're just gonna get like names for them all. It could genuinely be that they just kind of fuse into one like kind of like merger monster thing at the end of the series, and we don't actually get their names. I'm not, because you know how this series is with shit like introducing like the wives of gods and shit, like characters' names. A lot of characters we think should show up just generally don't. So I'm not going to hold my breath that we're going to get loads of cool deep cuts. But I know there's some cool Egyptian like ancient deities and stuff like that. A good job with Wukong, but you've got my quote. Sorry about that. I did scroll back through I was taking note from the live stream, but I clearly missed that. I do apologise for that. Do you think has a higher chance of losing Rasputin or Simo? I think Rasputin has a higher chance of losing based on just the thematics around, you know, him being the immortal man, I think there's more storytelling potential around him dying. However, you know, it could be either or. I would never bet on it because until we meet the characters, who they're fighting and see how the round's playing, it's so difficult to predict just based on the characters, if that makes sense. I think you forgot about the deciding move for Ragnarok. I might have, and I do apologise. Anime Master, hey Zev, hey man, great to see you here. Okuta and Susanoo will draw, I hope. Yeah, we've been talking about this draw match. Well, yeah, I've seen people talking about the draw match since round 7. Every round the draw match comes into the thing. So at this point, I'm just going to pretend. I'm just going to say, yeah, it could be. But I'm not going to bet on it in any round. I still think a draw will happen at some point. I'm just not going to like throw out this round's definitely going to be it, because there's been good reasons for all the previous rounds, basically, for people saying why that should be the draw. Augustus passes the Divine Mirror in seconds. Well, not really. He breaks it. He breaks it, and then we kind of cut away. And generally, how fights in Ragnarok goes is a character breaks their guard, then the other character comes back, does something, and then says, "I wasn't going, my strongest," and gets it up, and then thing. I think until we see, like, we've had a couple pages of it, I don't think you can draw anything about it until, next chapter. It really wouldn't surprise me if next chapter we see something like Okuta breaks guard, Susanoo changes style to specifically to counter what Okuta's doing. Okuta changes something again, and it gets like a counter thing. Wouldn't surprise me, especially because if it'd be a round 3 mirror, and obviously this round is already mirroring round 3 quite a bit. But yeah, I don't take. Yeah, this is like saying stuff like, I'm not really taking anything at the end of this chapter as particularly noteworthy of power scaling, because it is so early. We've seen so little of it. Okuta seems like a glass cannon if the fight continues. Yeah, Okuta to me seems very much like Poseidon. He seems very much like a Poseidon. Poseidon type character to me. Like in the end, I think this round, as I said, I think it parallels round 3 quite a bit, and it does seem to be Susanoo paralleling Sasaki a bit, and it does seem that Okuta is paralleling Poseidon a bit, but obviously almost like the inverses of their respective characters. So I would say he's very much glass cannon, but unlike Poseidon, actually, yeah, no, I wouldn't even say Poseidon's a glass cannon. Poseidon's fast, but his AP isn't very good. But Okuta is very fast and does seem to have good AP, so, where are we up to? Hope we pop off my ball. Hope we pop off my ball Aircon. Yeah, I'm really, as I said earlier in the stream, very excited to write round 6, which is the Aircon round. I'm more excited because the opponent is Arthur Pendragon, and although we got some cool ideas in the discussion stream, I've expanded on them in a really cool way. So I'm really excited to write that round because I really want to write Arthur's backstory, because I've added some stuff to it that I think is really cool. So I'm very excited to write that. Guy is described as a primordial goddess. Hades' backstory, yeah. But I'm not sure if she's in the group primordial gods in chapter 88. I'd imagine she isn't. Like, I imagine it is. I'd have to check the kanji, but I imagine the kanji used to describe Guy as a primordial goddess is probably different to the kanji used to describe like the primordial gods that we got mentioned in this chapter. Because the gods were like Buddha and stuff, like very like knowledgeable gods, didn't have any knowledge of the primordial gods. And if Gaia, with her whole army, attacked the heavens, obviously everyone would know about it. So I just assume it's a different kind of thing. What's your predictions for round 11? Predicting for round 11. I'm gonna. Round 11 should be is likely if the humans win this round, which seems quite likely. Otherwise, the humans are just gonna. If the gods win this round, the humans are just gonna have a clean sweep for the rest of the tournament, which just probably isn't gonna happen. Which would make you think next round is probably going to be a win for humanity as well. So based on that humanity winning, I'm probably going to say it's going to be Simo's round. Or not sure. Yeah, probably Simo's round, but I don't know who Simo would fight. So I'm not predicting rounds at this point because I know who I think the final fight is going to be. Beyond that, I don't really know. But actually, it very well could be Loki's round as well, just because Loki's had a lot more character focus recently. So it could be Loki. There are a lot of people and gods that we should have added, like Odin Nobunaga and St. George Dragon Slayer. Well, that's the thing with the fan roster, is there's, think about how many humans have lived and how many gods are in mythologies. There's just so many that it's very difficult to add them all. Sorry, I missed one. We should have added Hyperion and Helios on the list. Yeah, going back onto that, there's just so many we could add. It's mad. When's the next Ragnarok vid? I'm not going to give a definitive date yet. Because I haven't started writing round 4 yet, but I'm gonna start writing round 4, and I'll see how long round 4 takes. I'm gonna take my time basically. When I've got most of it written, I'll probably in a stream or something like give a rough date of when I think it's gonna come out. I'd hope it be out. No promises. Probably by what are we in now? Beginning of April. I wouldn't say any later than June, but I don't know. I don't know. The chapter is very good. The fight is another history. Yeah, well, the chapter's a lore chapter at the end of the day. I think Buddha and Beelzebub will be the best friends by the end of the manga. I think Beelzebub will probably die by the end of the manga. That's my wild prediction. I know Beelzebub seems like a character who might sacrifice themselves at the end or something. That's a real wild left field guess there. That I haven't got any evidence for this. It just kind of it feels right to me that and that's only if we do get this. If we get a final battle or war or something at the end of the manga, which I don't know how I feel. I'd quite like if the manga ended with the tournament ending, like the end of round 13 or 14 if there's a draw is the end of the manga. But it really wouldn't surprise me if we do get some kind of final war thing after that. So I don't know. But I can see Beelzebub doing something like sacrifice. It just kind of seems in line with his character. But I don't know. But yeah, him and Buddha are definitely better friends than I would have expected them to be. I think the next chapter is Susanoo's backstory. Yeah, as I said last chapter, I thought this chapter would be a backstory video, a backstory chapter. So obviously we got a lore drop chapter. So yeah, it's about because we've had the back and forth. We've had one character show off their skills. That's generally when we tend to get a flashback. And I'd probably say Susanoo's probably going to go first, just because it could be Okuda's. I don't know. There's not really any correlation between whose flashbacks generally come first. I mean, Beelzebub got his before his round really started, so you know, it's hard to predict when backstories happen. Glad to help with those backstories, bro. No problem at all. They're big help. The only thing I want after the 10th round is for an honourable Westerner to win a fight, because the only Westerner who won was a hedonist who disemboweled people. But it's not like. Yeah, I guess. I guess so. Yeah, I'm just trying to think like the humans who won. Yeah, it does. It is all Easterners. But to be fair, like, what other Westerners are in the roster actually? I guess most of the Westerners are. God, we don't have many Westerners in the roster now. I think about it, because it's Jack, Simo, Nostradamus, Rasputin, and is it just the 4? There's got to be more than 4, right? Anyway, like 3 of those haven't even fought yet, so that's probably why. But yeah, a Westerner winning, but honourable Westerner. I don't think Rasputin's going to be honourable. Nostradamus doesn't seem honourable, so you basically just got Simo here. I don't know, Simo could lose, I don't know. So have you read Tenkaichi yet? I haven't read Tenkaichi yet, but I have started it, so I am getting somewhere. I heard the theory that Beelzebub uses the power of Satan, a primordial god, since Satan realised that his power would self-destruct, so he used Beelzebub as a vessel. Beelzebub as a primordial, that I think is a good idea. And I think that doesn't contradict stuff, because even in the lore of the gods, Satan was more like a boogeyman and not like a real-life thing like Gaia was, so that definitely could be the case. Have we got a super chat here? It's not coming up on our top super chat thing, but it looks like we've got a super chat from Mr. TWT28 with a nice 99p. So thank you for that. Celebrate the first super sticker. Good coming up in chat. So yeah, thank you for the super chat. And it says cheese. So thank you for that. Simo, Nostradamus, and Rasputin. Yeah. Yeah, we've only got 4 Westerners. I always thought there's more than that. I guess it's because we have. Everyone talks about the Japanese bias, but then I guess you also have, you know, the 2 Chinese fighters. Adam, who is not from Earth, I guess. Garden of Eden, I guess. Assumably, you'd imagine Adam would be, like, Middle Eastern, because that cradle of civilization, maybe. I don't know. I made a long comment in the 7 video, but your take on the round 3 backstories were interesting. Yes, Skeletor's Rose, I've read the comment. I will reply to it. these days, because I get so many comments, I do tend to just put them off to the end of the week, and then I just go through them all in one go and just spend like half an hour to an hour just replying to comments, because it's easier that way. But yeah, I will reply to your comment. I thought, round 3 was an interesting one. I liked how it came out, but it definitely was rushed. It wasn't exactly what I expected it to be, especially Amaterasu's backstory. I was really like, that was the last thing I wrote, so you know, it is what it is. Hopefully the other rounds won't be as rushed. Realist Medal, I don't know if this is official or not, but the Lubu spin-off is going to be animated. Yeah, I heard about this. I'm pretty sure it's official. What I want to know is, who's making it? Because if it's getting made by the same people who do the normal anime, I don't have much interest in it, just because, like, anyone who enjoys the anime, fair enough. It's just not for me. I think the anime's art style is really ugly. The animation's not great, and they cut so much stuff out that it just kind of ruins the flow of the story for me. So I'm not, and the color palettes just look weird. So I'm not a big anime fan. If a different studio was doing it, I'd be over the moon with it. But if it's the same studio that does the normal anime, then I'm not too interested. Okuta doubters in the mud. Yeah, I think most Okuta haters have come to acknowledge Okuta is actually, you know, really strong, which is to be expected. Because what you kind of realize as you read the series is everybody's strong. Like, it's this weird power scaling thing where, like, I don't think there's really any low diff fights, unless you like take like Zeus and Adam out of fights, and like nothing's really low diff, because like every fighter is somewhat relative to each other. No character's like monstrously stronger than others. That's just not really how the series works. So obviously Okuta wasn't going to be some bum. He obviously was going to be, you know, comparable to the other gods and humans, because that's just how the story's written. Shame we couldn't put the overdose death for Wukon's backstory. I did have it bullet pointed in for some Wukon's backstory, but I had to cut it down and make it a bit cleaner, just because compared to Washington, it was so much longer than Washington's backstory, and at one point, like, quite a large portion of just round 1 was just Wukong's backstory, so I had to cut stuff down a bit just for the flow of the story. The ideas were good, it's just I had to cut stuff down. It was just a sacrifice that had to be made, I'm afraid. I can't. Corey G's in the house. Great to see you, man. Glad to see your win against the Flying Spaghetti Monster. MV University. I can't wait for the round 7 character analysis. Oh, we're still in round 4 at the moment, so we got a while. But yeah, I'm looking forward to round 7 a lot, mainly because in my previous round analysis video, I think my round 7 analysis was by far the weakest. I don't think I explained it particularly well at all in that video. I don't really think I got my points across, so I'm very excited to get back down to it, just so I can, explain. Because I think round 7 honestly is one of my lower rounds, which isn't like a negative, because I think all the rounds are great. So just because it's one of my lower rounds doesn't mean I think it's bad by any means. But I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about round 7, especially basically what I feel people don't take away from round 7 as much as I think they should is the fundamental difference between Hades and Qin Shi Huang, which is the main reason why one won and the other lost. I feel people kind of just ignore that and just call, Qin Shi Huang and Gary Steele pulled a sword out of nowhere. I don't think there is a bit more to it than that. So yeah, I'm very excited to getting around to that. But I got to finish, I've got to start the chat video. I haven't even fucking started writing the script yet for the chat video. But yeah, I will get onto that. Then I've got round 5 to go, which will be fun, because round 5 is a very fun round. Round 6. And round 6 is really fun as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good time with some of these character analysis videos. It's cool that 4 is finally doing something. Yeah, I called it that 4 would be back in this chapter. Or not this chapter, but would come up and back Odin up, or, get in the way. And it's great, because 4 definitely needs it, because 4 doesn't do anything. And obviously, round 1's probably the most shallow in terms of its writing. So it's good. It's good to see 4 come back. I like the idea that Okuta relies on killing instinct, whilst Susanoo relies on being technically gifted. Okuta is basically Agito of swordsmanship. Oh, that's quite a good idea. Yeah, you could. So it's skill versus basically like emotion instinct, which I think I said something to the effect of in a chapter review, like near the beginning of round 10. But yeah, that's a better idea. I love it. 4's characterization is beautiful. Yeah, 4 is this is 4 needed this because in round 1, Lubu had really good characterization. 4's was alright. It's just like 4's backstory in round 1 tells you like nothing about his character. So and he doesn't say anything. So you know, but like I really like where they're taking his character with the like noble death thing. Seth will take his time with the Alcon because he loved what I was cooking with Wukong. Yeah, Alcon I'm really looking forward to. The ending of that round I'm looking forward to because there's a certain scene I can see in my head at the end of round 6, which I'm excited to write, involving Alcon and Arthur, so that's going to be fun. Also, 4 does appear to be stronger than Odin based on how Odin steps down to him, so he might be the strongest Norse god. I mean, I've been saying for quite a while now that 4 in physical strength, stronger than Odin. I just think Odin might have some just weird hacks. Well, we know Odin has this weird like death aura that made plants just decay. We saw that during round 5. Which is weird because it's like one of the few times we actually see like a supernatural ability. So I think Odin probably will be stronger than 4 in terms of. I think it'd be more impressive in his fight, but I think in terms of raw power, 4 is just stronger. But yeah, respect the title. 4 is just that strong. Round 1's deciding to move the Great Heavens below. We can. I will find a way to retcon that. Oh, we'll find a way to retcon something in, don't worry. Would Leonidas and Adam not be Western characters? Oh, yep, Leonidas. Yeah, Leonidas definitely is. I knew I was forgetting someone. Adam is... I don't know how you count Adam. Like, if we look at Adam's, like, character, his introduction box, it says Garden of Eden. So, technically he's not from Earth, so I guess he wouldn't count as a Westerner. And he's the progenitor of all mankind, so given that he's a progenitor of the East and the West, I wouldn't call him a Westerner, but, you know. Why did Okuta even have haters in the first place? People hated... there's a few reasons why people hate Okuta. The general reasons I saw was, number one, people hated him because one of the authors already had Requiem of Shogun, which basically is a character from another manga, and they don't like that because they think the author's playing favourites, which is a bit weird. They don't like him because he's Japanese. Too many Japanese fighters, apparently. Where, to be fair, for like a series like this, I think there's a great restraint in only having 4 Japanese fighters. That's less than you generally expect. And he's also got... Oh, he's another swordsman. People don't like that for some reason, even though there's like 5 spear users. So I don't really get that. Basically, people just argue he's just going to be a worse version of Sasaki when he's nothing like Sasaki. And I think he's like a weird author insert. So I don't really get the hate for him. But oh, and some people said he's shit because he died of a disease. Some very strange takes I've heard in the community of why they hate Okuta. Guys, don't forget to give the thumbs up on live. Yes, oh yeah. Give me the likes. I always forget you can like on streams. I get it, man. The overdose idea came from a character I created for my comics. Yeah, they're cool. Round 7 is the best. Watch how the anime makes people switch. Round 7, yeah. Round 7 is one of my lesser rounds, but I still love it. I love all the rounds. And like, plus I have like round 9 as my 4th favourite round, and like most people have round 9 like bottom or second bottom. So, you know, we all have different opinions. I can understand why someone would have round 9 near the bottom. And again, like round 7, I really like round 7. I'd put it... Yeah, round 7... 8, 9. I think round 7's my 7th favourite round, actually, funny enough. Which is quite funny. The anime make people switch. Yeah, just I don't know. Is there? I guess there has to be quite a large audience that only consumes for the anime. I don't really associate with the manga community, so I don't really know what's going on in the anime only community for the series. Round 7 is goated. Yeah, round 7 is great. I'm not saying it isn't great. Record of Ragnarok has round 2 and versus Zeus, and Record of Ragnarok has Koriji versus Fight Spaghetti Monster. I thought round 2 turned out to be quite fun. I think it was quite a fun round. There wasn't really any message or anything to that fight. It was just a lot of fun. Think you can make a post brainstorming attack moves name. Think you can make a post brainstorming attack moves named Setnot fighters. We definitely can. We definitely can do that. Dude, we should have had Akira Toriyama that stands for Wukong. Missed opportunity. Oh, I'm gonna find a way to work Akira Toriyama into this. I also did realise either in Sephiroth currently alive people are invited to watch, or it's set like in the future. Because Joe Biden, sadly, he isn't like luckily he's not dead yet. He does seem to be on his way out, but he isn't dead yet, and he does show up in this. So who knows? God, I'm really falling behind in the chat, which is good because it means we're not going to have any dry spots. Becky Hanma versus King and Astra is happening. Yes, it is, which is so exciting. I'm very excited for that. He's a very irritating edgelord. His skills are anything. His desire is rubbish. He is the least credited on the list of humans, meaning he shouldn't have been in Ragnarok. He is the author's favourite. I feel we have an Okuta hater in the chat. I don't know. I guess if you think he's an edgelord, fair enough. I guess that's fine. His skills are anything. His skills. What do you mean skills are anything? That's a bit of a weird take. His design is rubbish. Again, completely subjective. I'd agree. It's not one of. I'd say it's on the lower end of Ragnarok designs, but I'd still say it's pretty bloody good. He's the least credited on the list of humans. That I would flat out just disagree with. I don't think that's true in the slightest. It depends, actually. No, if we're going from a Japanese perspective, then 100% he's not. In Japan, the Shinigami are quite well liked and quite well known historical figures, especially Okuta. And in the West, again, I disagree. I think out of like the West, I feel way more people should know who Okuta is than they would Raiden or Kintoki. Raiden and Kintoki are way more deeper cuts into Japanese like mythology and history than Okuta has. Okuta's quite like the Shinigami are at least somewhat existent in pop culture. Obviously, a lot of that's due to anime doing heavy lifting, but like when do you see Raiden when's Raiden ever referenced? Even like when you're talking like historical sumo legends, Raiden's usually not the first one that comes onto the list. It is usually Sukune. Sukune, the god of sumo, is usually brought up in the context of ancient sumo way before Raiden is. Raiden is, Raiden is by far the least known historical figure in Ragnarok. I don't think it's close. And yeah, I don't know. I think you could maybe make an argument Okuta's more well known than Sasaki. I think there's an argument for that. Because Sasaki's only really known due to his association with Miyamoto Musashi. And I'd say Musashi's probably more well known globally than Okuta is, but I think you could genuinely make an argument Okuta's generally more well known in his in the wider circles than Okuta. So I don't get where this idea that Okuta's like really obscure compared to the rest of the roster comes from, because I just don't think that's true. And then again, I'm a massive history buff. I love, especially Japanese history. I love Japanese history. I had no bloody clue who Raiden was, and if somebody like has a big interest in Japanese history doesn't know who Raiden is, then I think that says a lot that Raiden probably is the least known on the roster. And weirdly, Jack the Ripper, like, Adam's the most well-known on the roster. I always used to put Jack as second, but quite a few people I've talked to who had no idea who Jack the Ripper was. So now I'm starting to think maybe it's Tesla or Rasputin. I don't know. That was a big old rant. Sorry about that, guys. Shame you couldn't add lightning to Wukong's power set. Don't forget blue flames for Alkong. Yeah, I've got Alkong's flames written down a note. For Wukong, I had to limit it a lot because I was struggling to get the flying somersault martial arts, like his weird sensing thing he learned from Buddha, like enlightenment sensing, and his pole all into a moveset, so I couldn't add any more to it. Stefan, what do you think the story being a tournament that happens after Ragnarok or a different timeline sort of thing? I'm going with a different timeline, and it isn't going to be for the exact same reasons Ragnarok happens in regular Ragnarok. There is slight differences. There is some lore, basically. I have got some lore. The lore's cooking. The lore hasn't been mentioned yet. There's also a reason why there's no Volons and there's no Valkyries. That like the weapons the humans use is plot relevant. There is something special to them. I haven't mentioned it yet. I like how Adamus stepped up to stop Beelzebub and dishing back out what he threw at him and his arm. Oh yes, yeah. We've got to talk about Adamus. Adamus stocks are up. Like the thing is, Adamus is a bum. We know Adamus is a bum because he not only gets one shot by Poseidon. Poseidon with one shot explodes him. Sasaki, who most people agree has pretty bad durability, gets hit by Poseidon and he doesn't blow up. It just stabs his side. Then when he gets faster and stronger during 40-Day Floods and he hits Sasaki, M's like 8 times a panel. They're glancing shots, but the point is, like, the blade makes contact and it just cuts him, and it doesn't blow him apart like it does for Adamus, meaning Adamus just has worse durability than Sasaki. Adamantine, on the other hand, he is no bum. Adamantine is actually really fucking strong, which is really interesting. So Adamus, I hate to say this, but I'm somewhat hyped by him at the moment. In the end fight, we see Okuta's iconic moves. Yeah. You know what? God, I am well behind them. Okay, we're going to speed blitz through some of these comments, guys. You know what would be a cool ability for Ali? Ali have him be like Smokey Joe in Baki, where he creates after him his may smoke. That is an amazing idea. I haven't actually got much for Ali yet, so we're definitely incorporating that. Beelzebub Agenda looks up. Odin stocks look good. Kentoki is not weak, but Tartarus Demons feel different. Yeah, the Tartarus Demons thing is a bit strange. It does seem like Kentoki doesn't have a Volant. Let's just remember that. But yeah, that's a bit weird. But you know, they are definitely strong. I'm assuming the Tartarus Demons are stronger than most gods, except for the gods that fight Ragnarok. You'd assume so because they are guarding Tartarus of all places, so they have to be absolute monsters. His 3D movement, bouncing off the walls and stopping Susanoo swing with the butt of his swords are skills he uses in his manga against Shirazawa. Yeah, I've looked into a bit of some of the stuff he does in Requiem Shogun, and it does seem like there are some callbacks, which is really cool. Also, yeah, his 3D movement is just something we don't see much of. With the exception like Jack, we don't see much arena like moving off the environment, so that's really fun. Also, this Kentoki, I'm pretty sure has no Volons. Yeah, Kentoki's Volon will be an axe, right? Like, I think that's easily the most. It's like Leonidas having a shield. Kentoki will like have an axe. Like, it's his most iconic weapon. So yeah, he doesn't have an axe on him at the moment, so I'm assuming he doesn't have an axe yet. Also for Oppenheimer, have him be very ashamed of his Volon due to it being like Tesla suit, but it's everything he regrets. Yeah, we're working that into it. We're gonna have a suit powered by nuclear energy or something. Hoping Joe Biden gets packed out. Okuta is under designed, but it's not bad. Yeah, Okuta's got a simple design. What I'd find is most what's the word? Most record Ragnarok designs do this. They really walk the line of being over designed, but not. Like, if you break down most of their designs, they are and you just listed someone, like Apollo's design seems horrendously over designed, but it works, and Okuta just happens to be the opposite of that, and I think they'll work. Again, designs are subjective, but I think Okuta's design tells you all you need to know about him. Okuta is one of the strongest swordsmen of his generation. What do you mean least credited? From another manga, yeah. Plus, Fate made Okuta famous. Oh yeah, because we've got Sakura Saver. I always forget about that. At least record second OP is pretty good. Yeah, Record Ragnarok does have good music. I will say that his music is very good. I thought Ryonin Kenshin made him famous. Most of the main characters based in Shinigami. Yeah, I don't know. I knew where. My first general pop culture reference to Okuta would be in Gintama, because obviously lots of Shinigami characters in that. But I also think, Rurouni Kenshin has it. There's that. What's the anime called where the Shinigami all die and they get a load of convicts and they take the roles of the Shinigami? I can't remember what that one's called, but they're in that as well. But yeah, they are in Rurouni Kenshin. The Okuta equivalent is Seta Sojiro, I guess. Oshi's, we could have added Musashi. That's true. But he doesn't appear in Rurouni Kenshin. Vagabond mentioned. Yeah. I don't know. Vagabond's one of these weird series where it's really well known from in the manga and anime community, but in terms of general pop culture, I'd say it's pretty unknown. At least all the stuff like Berserk. I think a large amount of people know what Berserk is, even if they're not in the manga sphere. Where I don't think many people know what Vagabond is outside of it. Raiden, Sasaki, Kamizumi, Tezuka, Kentoki, Musashi, Kondo, Hajime, Ryoma, Hichiko, Okutsuji. I'm Japanese. Okay, fair enough. If you're Japanese, we'll take you for it. But are we talking in Japan, or are we talking in what's it called, in general pop, in general fandom's understanding of it? But sure. And if anything, I would say I'd rather the series had more obscure historical figures. I think they're more fun than the well-known ones. But that's just me. We need a second fan roster. We do need We got to do the bloody anime character, the fictional character fan roster first. I think Buddha calling for Little Four is interesting. How old is Buddha? Well, we know. I don't know what it is offhand, but we know what Buddha's age is because we know when Buddha was a human. So Buddha is like 4's older. I think where it says Little Four, I imagine that is just him calling him 4chan, Chan or Forkun, and just being diminutive. I don't think it's respective of their literal ages, but it is naturally Vicky. Jackie Ripper, probably more of a UK thing. Rasputin has the entire song. Yeah. One of my friends is from the Balkans, and he's like, yeah, we don't know who Jack the Ripper is. And I'm like, okay. But it does seem like Tesla's very well known over there, so who knows? He says just Rasputin in top 2 after Adam, Nostradamus. Yeah, Adam has to be the most well known, I'd have to say. Yeah, Nostradamus is probably up there too. You get to Vidar, can't wait to get to Vidar versus Machiavelli. Yeah, that's right at the end. So that's like one of the final 3 rounds. We got a while for that. I'd say Tesla is above Nostradamus. Yep, it could be. I don't rate Nostradamus nearly as highly as some people do because we haven't seen him do anything. Like, Nostradamus' hype is the same hype that Leonidas got, the round 3 shout out, and then Brunhild calling him strong. But Brunhild calls everyone strong, so it doesn't really bode well. I don't think Nostradamus is this powerhouse that everyone else seems to think. I think he's going to be more of like a trickster fighter than a pure muscle powerhouse. Give Ao Kong twin swords. I will note that down. Tesla and Nostradamus are interchangeable. We don't know anything about Nostradamus. We could rate Nostradamus about as much as we could rate Sivo. Of my part of System Rock, try and make Machiavelli similar to Himiko's personality from Magic Tyson, and I'll be happy. We'll try to stick to it because Himiko is one of the best characters from Magic Tyson. Also, Magic Tyson, Mona Lisa looks hot. Mona Lisa is such an interesting character. I'm not going to spoil anything because I know not everyone's up to date on the series, but yeah. Everyone's been asking if the humans or gods will win, and then there was Odin on his way to screw everything up. Yeah, I heard a good theory, and I quite like the theory of Siegfried being used like a vessel for the primordial gods or something, and that way, that's how Kentucky facts into Ragnarok or something. I'd rather the primordial gods somewhat are like the power source of whoever fights in the final round for the gods or something like that, rather than us getting like a final war afterwards. But I can see it going either way. Look up the move Gargantua Punisher. That's the finishing move for round 6. I will note that down. I don't want to tab off just because I'm trying to... let me get to the end of the comments first. I actually got into an argument with this one guy who said Chin was the strongest human due to him fighting... Chi Yu for 7 days and nights, and he thinks that's impressive, and not fighting... Like, him killing Chi Ji Huang is very impressive because, Nova Lond. It is generally a very impressive feat. But, like, it's not Adam level. What? Like, just for reference, like, Chi Yu is a god. We don't know how strong they are as a god. The Serpent, also a god. Don't know how strong they are as a god. Adam packs up the Serpent in one move. Without a Volond. And Chin does the same over 7 days and nights. It's not really comparable, is it? Do you think Nostradamus might actually reveal Odin's plan to Brunhild, since he has been shown sneaking around in his personal chapter, along with possibly having future? Maybe. I personally like the theory with Nostradamus that he has seen the future. He knows how Ragnarok's going to end, and he's doing stuff in order to facilitate humanity winning. Just because I can't really think of another way that his future sight can be different from Sasaki and Buddha's. Like being like significantly different, and I think that could be a different way to do it. Yeah. I was just wondering, since Nostradamus hasn't done anything and he's been set up to important in Ragnarok. Yeah, but like to be fair, like a lot of I guess Nostradamus has been given more setup than the average fighter, so I guess there's. Yeah, possibly, but like it's quite rare we actually see characters even doing something out of rounds, even the important ones, so I wouldn't count on it, but it would be very cool. Thanks for not spoiling. I'm currently reading Magic Tyson, and I'm not very far into it. Yeah, I'm going to try not spoil series that aren't regular Ragnarok, just unless they're like very minor spoilers, just for the air. But I will say, yeah, Magic Tyson gets very good. The current rounds we're on at the moment is very, very good. Nostradamus versus Anubis is probably happening. I see them acting similarly in terms of their blood loss and willingness to fight. Yeah, Anubis Nostradamus is definitely a thing. I was quite for that idea under the assumption Anubis would be like a judge type character. He doesn't seem to be that, so that my main reason for why I'd match him up with Nostradamus has kind of gone down the toilet a bit, but I still see it. Personally, Loki Nostradamus to me just seems like the most likely matchup, but I can see Anubis versus Nostradamus as well. Disclaimer, I don't hate Okuta, I just don't hype him. Yeah, that's fair. People have everyone's got their own hype for certain characters. Who's the character that Hades. I love Hades as a character. I never had much hype for Hades going up to his rounds. People really were hyped for Hades before he showed up. I don't mind him. He's fine. Like in terms of how hyped I was. Very hyped. I'm hyped for him as a character. I wasn't hyped just to see him. Just the only characters I've seen the name of, and that's been enough to get me hyped, was Kintoki, probably. Kintoki I'm very hyped for, just because I think Kintoki's a very, very interesting character in Legends. He's very, for how popular he is in Japanese culture, there's so little to him in mythology, and maybe history. I don't mean there's much historical evidence that Sakata Kintoki existed as a person, but he's the man he was a retainer for did exist, so to each their own. But yeah, that Okuta was always one of my least anticipated fighters, but so far he's exceeded my expectations. I think he's a very fun fighter. I think round 10's gonna shape up to be one of the best rounds of the fighter. I think thematically, no idea yet, but in terms of just choreography, in terms of pure fight choreography, round 10 is already shaping up to be one of the best. I can confirm Adam versus Chin is high diff for either side. Chin's quite a tricky opponent for Adam. Weirdly enough, he's got his skill set is one. Basically, the more nuanced your skill set is, probably the harder it's gonna be for Adam to beat them. I still give the win to Adam though, obviously. Oshi's, you can make Leonidas like Tai Lung, and a soldier who wanted to become a leader but could. Oshi, you can make Leonidas like Tai Lung, a soldier who wanted to become a leader but could never get the position. Don't really get what that's in reference to, sorry. But yeah. Does Leonidas... I don't think Leonidas is meant to show up in anyone's battles, right? I don't know. I could be just completely being dumb here. I wasn't hyped for Buddha, but his betrayal is what got me invested in his stocks. Oh yeah, Buddha's another character that I wasn't that hyped to see, despite what most people used to say, and most people's anticipation for him. But yeah, he more than expanded his he more than met the expectations. I got excited for Jack the Ripper the most. I guess for me, because I caught up to the manga just before round 7 started, so the first 6 rounds, I wasn't as anticipating of fighters, just because I was just reading through the series, so I was like, oh. So once I got to the point I caught up, then I got anticipated for all characters, because they obviously hadn't shown up yet, and it wasn't like, oh, tomorrow I might read a chapter and they're in it. Here's something you can add for Hannibal. He likes to gamble and play cards, but he's very bad at it. That's a nice thing. Hannibal's one of the characters that's just, going to be hanging around Sun Tzu, just commentating and stuff, so we can definitely work that into it. For the gods, I like Loki the most. Yeah, Loki was good. I liked Ares. I've always loved Ares. Ares is arguably my top 10 favorite characters, which is, for a would make him the only non-fighter. I guess, actually, no, Gaul's in my top 10 as well, and Gaul hasn't fought yet, but, Gaul is technically going to be a fighter because they're a Valkyrie, but you know what I mean. Can you put Kira Toriyama in the Alcon fight? We definitely can. We discussed earlier that we were going to try work him into the series, and that's a great spot to do it. Mainly because we have some Wukong spectating. For the where are we up to? Do you read Star Strike It Rich? I haven't started Star Strike It Rich yet. I really need to, because it's Kingdom Verse. I want to finish How Heavy the Dumbbells You Lift. I used to read it a while ago, and I stopped reading it for a while, and I've got back and I've binged the chapters I've got left. I've got like 6 chapters left. We've just finished the Isekai arc. Here's the hilarious thing. For those who like Kengan, because Dumbbells is canon to Kengan, it does mean that time travel, ghosts, people flexing so hard they warp you in time, Oda Nobunaga being a bodybuilder, these are all canon to the Kengan verse. All of these things are canon to Kengan. Kengan does have ghosts in its verse. It does have time travel. It has, like, buff Oda Nobunaga. So, Shen could have fought Oda Nobunaga. I don't know. I just find that very funny. But yes, Star Striker Rich is something I really need to start, because I'm sure it's going to be good. Kengan stuff's always good. Longest I've had. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, for longest that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I also have a lot of hype for Kintoki. However, I don't want him to win, because otherwise that Shimizu no Valkyrie equals Japan versus Gods Will Be Real. Nah, I'm very confident. Kintoki and Gol for the final fighters, winning Ragnarok, is probably the thing I'm most confident. It's the prediction I'd bet money on the most. There just seems a lot of it. It's more that Gol being the final Valkyrie lines up. There's a lot of stuff that lines up for that to be true. And there's a lot of stuff that lines Gol to be paired up with Kintoki up. There's also the Odin Kintoki stuff this chapter. And, you know, I expect the final fighters to be Japanese. And I expect a Japanese to win, because it's Japanese manga. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't get why there's this weird obsession that is bad because the Japanese series has Japanese characters in it. That's just bizarre to me. I don't understand that criticism. It's just weird. I don't care for that argument. So yeah, I think Katoki's gonna be the final fighter, and I will be proven. I'm happy to be proven wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have no issue for it, but I am, based on the evidence I can see in the story, it seems fairly likely to me. So that's what I'm just saying. Where are we up to? Best gods besides Buddha is Shiva, bruh. Oh yeah. For me, no. If I'm ranking gods, my top 5 gods in the series, number 1 is Buddha, number 2 is Apollo, number 2 is Apollo, number 3 is Shiva, number 4 is Ares, number 5 would probably be... that's hard. I like 4 a lot, but I can't put him into my top 5. There's just not enough writing about him, character writing around him. Probably Poseidon. I think Poseidon's a really well written character, so they're probably my top 5. Ichigo gets the most ghosts in the Reach chapter. I will definitely have to get onto reading it. Oh yeah, the funniest part of the chapter was Odin mean mugging Kintoki after Buddha said he was looking into Siegfried. I'm very excited to see Odin and Kintoki do stuff together. It's gonna be great. I meant longest. Can you make another Tai Lung or someone who wants to be the leader? But yeah, we got that. Yeah. How many people say that the majority of humans in the tournament they win are Asian? I always denied it, but if Okuta and Kintoki win, there'll be no denying it. Well, I guess the majority of the wins being Asian makes sense, because isn't the majority of the roster Asian anyway? Like, it's over half the roster's Asians, so just statistically, most of them are going to win. And it also, we do have to remember that, you know, out of the remaining people left to fight, we have Kintoki, who's Eastern. We've got Simo, Western. Rasputin, Western. Nostradamus, Western. So out of the remaining 4 fighters, which, if humans win Ragnarok, I guess we'll throw Okuta into this just because that round's happening. That means we have 3 Westerners and 2 Asians. And if the humans are going to win Ragnarok, then only one of these is going to lose. One max 2 is going to lose. So statistically, I think the majority winning of Asia makes sense, because the majority of the fighters are Asian anyway. The majority are Asian anyway, and then the majority of the Western fighters haven't fought yet. So it's a bit of a weird take to say that it's bizarre that that's the case. That just seems a bit of a weird take to me. And again, I don't understand why it matters that the majority of fighters are Asian, because it shouldn't matter. I don't get why that's a thing, why people fixate on that. I don't understand. like, it's a bit of a weird thing to me. I don't understand why people care that much about that. I hope with Buddha and Kentucky now, Odin's plan. I hope with Buddha and Kentucky now, Odin's plan, the humans victors get more involved because just spectating. I would like to see Jack use his stealth and eye abilities to get information. Yeah, it's. I think as we get more into the end game, we are going to see more out of match stuff, but I wouldn't bet on like Jack doing stuff. I'd like to see it. I guess we have seen Jack do stuff out of his round, so it's possible. I want to see Qin Shi Huang do stuff personally, but you know, then Hannibal is called for his round. Have him win his card game with Sun Tzu and have him say, "This is the game I'm good at." Okay, that could be quite good. I quite think that's fun. You can have at the end for Ragnarok round 4. You can have at the end of the round 4/6 video. Yeah, we'll add that scene in for sure. Regular Ragnarok, my Roman Empire. The Corgi versus Flying Spaghetti Monster is my Roman Empire. Apollo is tied to Shiva, but I have more time with Shiva. How dare you forget Beelzebub? Controversial statement. I think Beelzebub's very well written. I just don't like him much. Like, it's a bit like there's characters that I know are really well written, and they just don't do much for me. It's a bit like Law in One Piece. Law is a very, very well written character in One Piece. I just don't like Law. I just don't find him appealing. Like, I could care less about Law, but I'm not denying he's really well written, but I just don't really care for him. Same with Beelzebub. I like Round 8 a lot. I think Beelzebub's really well written. Beelzebub doesn't do much for me. I don't know. He doesn't stand out to me. There's nothing about his character that I find particularly enjoyable, which is a shame because I want to like him more than I do. But that's why I don't bring up Beelzebub much, because I don't like to be negative. But honestly, like, Beelzebub's just not my favorite character. It's that simple. Like, I understand why people like him. I understand why he's well written, but it just doesn't do anything for me. So yeah, is what it is. I'm not defending my take. It's just that's what it is. Where we up to? Then for Jupiter, have him say time for the one who brought Rome to the brink of destruction to face judgment. Oh yeah, shit, yeah. Jupiter Hannibal with Roman. Okay, yeah, that's something I completely forgot about, but yeah, that's true. Corey pulling himself back in time was one of the greatest moments in fiction. I cried, I won't lie. Yeah, for Corey G, I was just trying to think of like what's the most like OP shit I can do. Then I thought back to like if you ever read JoJo's, like every main villain either has time or space control, just because as Araki has said, like controlling the fundamental laws of time and space is like the most OP you can be. So I thought, okay, well, we've got to do something to do with time and space. And that's just how the ability set just kind of it kind of just turned it. It started off as just basically just Gojo's ability, which wasn't intentional. I wasn't intending to do that, but I was like, oh yeah, this is just Gojo's limitless, which is pretty funny. But the proposal is to be humanity versus the gods, and no Japan man versus the gods. If the author can't respect non-Asian historical figures, then he should write something else. What? What do you mean? This is such a bizarre take. Because it is humanity versus the gods. It is humanity versus the gods. It's just, like, this is what I don't, this thing is, because you could change, if you take every human on this roster, yeah, and you kept their characterization the exact same, kept the fights the exact same, and you just changed their names, which you definitely could do, nothing changes. Like in that you could, like, obviously some stuff would have to change, but like if you replace Sasaki with a Western swordsman, changed it to just being set in somewhere in the West, and kept the backstory apart from that identical, that doesn't, like, it doesn't change round 3. Round 3 would be exactly as good, exactly as bad. Like, you'd have the same pros and negatives, whether it's Sasaki or some Western swordsman. It doesn't make a difference. It is Sasaki. It's cool, like, it adds a cool factor outside of the story if you have the historical knowledge of who Sasaki is. But fundamentally, the story and how good the story is does not change depending on who the character is. But, like, that doesn't, like, there's a cool factor, but it doesn't change the fundamental fact of the manga. You could remove all the Western characters out of the... if you could remove all the Western characters and replace them with Japanese characters and give them basically the same backstories, and the series will be just as good. It won't change how good the series is. It won't change the writing. So it's bizarre. Representation, if any... And compared to, like, some... Like, I think the representation is pretty bloody good, because the majority of the world is Asian anyway. Asians are the majority of the world anyway. And it's not like the series is 60% Japanese people and they're like a few token Westerners. There's loads of different cultures. The largest group happens to be Japanese, but it's still 4. It's not even a quarter of the human roster. It's not even a quarter. It's less than a quarter. So it's really bizarre. It's just weird. It's not even a quarter of it. And two of the Japanese fighters, of the 2 that have already fought, one's already lost. I just don't understand this idea with this identity politics when it comes to Ragnarok, because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And if the author has a Japanese bias, great. It like, basically what it comes down to is, if your enjoyment of the character comes down to whether they win or lose their round, then you shouldn't like Adam. Even though Adam is generally the most beloved character in the manga, Adam loses his round. So you should not like Adam because he loses. Like, that's what it comes down to. How well written the characters are, how enjoyable they are, has nothing to do with them winning or losing. So if a character is written to be a Westerner, and then they lose, but if they're still well written, it doesn't make a difference. You could switch Jack out for a Japanese manslayer. You could do that if you really wanted to. Kept the thing the same. It'd still be the same. It's just bizarre. I find it weird. I don't get it. Why does it matter? And again, it's a Japanese story written by a Japanese person that obviously likes their country and their history. And I guess this is what it comes down to. I don't know. Sorry, I've gone on a really run. Sorry, Zafira, I didn't mean to. That's probably felt really personal, like an attack. Sorry, it's just like I hear this sentiment so much in the community, and it really annoys me because it's such a bad thing to focus on, because the whole story the story is great and the writing is great, but when you boil it down to just like historical if you boil it down to historical accuracy and weird like representation, it takes away what's great from the story. Just enjoy the characters. Qin Shi Huang is basically nothing like historical Qin Shi Huang, and I don't care, because the character in the manga is really fucking cool. So it doesn't matter that he's Chinese. You could switch him. You could make him Gilgamesh, or Hammurabi, or Ashurbanipal, some Mesopotamian king. Keep the backstory the same. Nothing changes. He's still just as cool. Oh, so sorry, I've just got a real rant. I do apologise, chat, for you having to listen to that. I got a bit heated, but it just really bloody annoys me. Sorry, we will stay off this topic now. I'm not going to bring it up again, so I do apologise. Anyway, back to get into the comments. Where are we up to? Which series? Okay, here we go. Which series? Wait, where the fuck? I was reading the comment and then the comment just disappeared. Which series do you think is more underrated in terms of character writing and depth, Baki or Dragon Ball? Baki. The reason I bring this up is a lot of people will say Dragon Ball's just mindless action. But a lot of people will get really defensive if you say Goku or Vegeta are badly written. People will defend those characters. The same people that say Dragon Ball isn't deep will get defensive if you say that Vegeta's a bad character, which I think says a lot to people. Baki, on the other hand, has a reputation for being a really dumb, stupid show with no deeper writing. And I mentioned this in one of my long Baki videos, but the thing with Baki is the majority of the current Baki fandom started with the Netflix anime. And the issue I always have with Netflix anime is the Netflix anime is that's the point of the story where the story really shifts. Because basically, that's new Grappler Baki. Grappler Baki before that is a lot more character focused, is a lot more tightly focused on Baki and his journey, and it basically lays out all the groundwork. So I have no issue with new Grappler Baki being a lot less hands-on with its character writing, because all the groundwork was already done. But as soon as you start with a Netflix anime, you don't have the groundwork. So it seems like it. So I have no issue. I understand why people who start in the Netflix anime don't think the writing's bad or don't think there's character depth because they haven't read the groundwork for it. And I think that's just a product of Netflix choosing to, just go start with the 90s anime left off. Early 2000s anime, sorry. So I think that is just it's just a byproduct of it. I think Baki is really, really, really underrated in its depth. A lot of people appreciate Dragon Ball's writing. Not really many people do that for Baki, and I think it's a real shame. Especially, and I can attest to this because I've done videos on both series, and a lot of the Dragon Ball comments are people agreeing, saying yeah. A lot of the Baki comments are people saying, wow, I didn't know this because I thought Baki had no writing to it. So I have a unique perspective where I've seen people's response to me doing a deeper dive into both series, and the Baki one seems to have a lot more people genuinely surprised that there is all these metaphors and stuff in the story which they didn't know existed. I also think Baki and Dragon Ball have different approaches when it comes to character writing, and I think Dragon Ball's is just a bit more obvious and almost a bit more Western in a way, so it's easier for people to pick up on. Can you make Athena like Makima from Chainsaw Man? I can definitely see attributes of Makima we could add in there, yeah. I want to see Okuta's Volond already. I don't know which Valkyrie, but I think there's one whose name in English means the time of the sword. I've got a name was probably her. Yeah. The thing with Okuta's is because Okuta's is probably going to be a sword. It's probably going to be a sword. The issue is he has two swords. So it might be that his current sword gets broken and then he draws his second sword and that one's the Volond. Or it could be the Pacemaker, which I thought was cool. When the loser doesn't really hold much weight in terms of character or the highlights of the round, Adam loses round. There's no questioning that he's decided the round. I respect my appeals above. Sorry, Corey G. Sorry. I get that I'm the same with Eren and Gon. I know the writing is good, but I don't like the characters themselves. Yeah, good point. I would agree with Eren. Gon, I love Gon. I think his character writing's good. But yeah, you can understand good character writing and also not like the character. Like that's just a thing. That just happens. Sorry, I'm just getting a little hot here. Same for Jack and Heracles. Jack wins, but Heracles' love of humanity is what resonated with the most. Yeah, generally I think, I get Adam, Heracles, Tesla. Their respective deaths are three of the best moments in the series, and it's like the highlights of those three characters. There's some of the actually no, Adam's highlight is a father doesn't need a reason to play his family, but like his second biggest moment for me, it's probably in this flashback. But one of his biggest moments is his death. Same with Tesla's. In my opinion, Tesla's best moment is his death. I think Heracles' best moment is his death. I think a lot of these characters are best in their deaths. Tesla was treated very positively. Even Thomas Edison was simping for him. How was that not respect? Average subject brain, the helpless. No, we're not getting into any attacks here. We're leaving this discussion alone for the moment. So sorry, I am skipping over comments, but it's only because it's about the thing I just want to rant about, and I don't want to bring the subject back up. So I have read all these comments. I'm just not going to address them, just for the sake of keeping the stream positive. Same Edison Star Wars ideas. God, bloody hell, with a lot of comments on this stuff. Corey G's part where we all silent wave. Okay, here we are. Do you think Odin will fight in the tournament, or will they save him until after the tournament is over due to the plan he's trying to follow? I can see Odin forcing Sigrid to take his place. I'd like Odin to fight. Like, for me, I'd much rather the storytelling happens in the ring. I'd much rather the final conclusion of the series be in the final round. I don't know if that's going to happen, and we might just get a final war or something. I'd much rather Odin be involved in it. But yeah, it could be the other way. I think the idea of Odin forcing Siegfried to fight and Odin fighting himself are not mutually exclusive. I think both can happen. But we'll have to wait and see. The problem is anyone who isn't Asian only shows up. Oh, sorry, that's on the thing. The problem is anyone who's Asian, they're always the ones with the worst writing. I know when I bring this up, But to say that it's really dumb because Adam has amazing writing. Personally, I think Leonidas and Apollo have amazing writing. Poseidon has amazing writing. Shiva, no, Shiva is Asian. Jack has amazing writing. Like, what? That's such a bizarre take, sorry. The mentality of who wins and loses, the society wins or loses, so doesn't matter. They even have Buddha fight and defeats literal. Corey G, what is back even about? Yeah. Literally any. I love when you see a post. It's not even an anime post. It's just some random shit happening, and then the top comment would just be, "What is back even about?" Tesla, a guy that was showing very positive, and even had Edison something about him, who great he is despite him being a guy who stole his work and stuff. Also had a great speech throughout the round. Yeah, that's a good point. Like characters don't. Well, I'm taking a very small part of your statement, but yeah, characters in the story don't reflect what they were like in real life. Tesla was a piece of shit in real life, and he died, bankrupt and miserable. But Tesla in the story is a really nice guy, and he dies. I guess he in university might die bankrupt as well, but like his second death, his proper death, was inspiring people. Back in Dragon Ball, fans have a lot of overlap in the meathead nature of its fans. Yeah, I think that just comes with the territory. I think there's just a lot of appeal to just muscly men fighting. Beyond but that's my thing. You can enjoy. I have no issue with people that enjoy Baki just for the action. I have no issue with those people. I think that is one of the big appeals of Baki is just the raw action, and I have no issue with people that enjoy it for that. I think you're very within your rights to enjoy a series just for that. So I have no issue with people that enjoy it for that. But at the same time, you can't deny there is deeper writing to it as well. What happens when you learn about Baki from TikTok? Baki, man, that CGI drawing is cursed. I'm glad the CGI stuff has basically disappeared from Baki now, because that was absolutely dreadful. I'll peep Baki one day. Still got to catch up to Kingdom. Yeah, you should peep Baki. It's great stuff. Kingdom is I need to catch up to Kingdom really badly. You don't peep Baki. Not letting the cat out entering the stream. I'm sorry, Corey. No, it's a Booty. Sorry, I'm sorry, Booty. The cat hasn't asked to get up, I'm afraid. Not much we can do about that. Yujiro peeps you. Do you think Under Luck will get season 2? I haven't looked at. I'd have to look at it's done on Blu-ray sales and stuff. It's still really weird how the anime industry works out if they need it when they make sequels or something. I have no idea. I'd have to look at the ratings and stuff. I'd like it to. Season 1 definitely has pacing issues, but I've kind of come to this understanding now that the pacing issues are kind of weird because the series basically season 1 ends in the perfect spot, because I don't think you can end the series any later. You can't fit another arc in, and even if you could, ending at the end of the summer arc is a really weird place to end. Ending where it does end makes more sense, and I don't know how you'd have to just lose an episode otherwise, or add loads of filler stuff in. So I think just the pacing and how it lines up with the anime was a bit unfortunate, but I think the season was still pretty good. Usual will awaken your inner woman. I need to read Under the Luck, and Booty, you bloody do, because it is amazing. The current arc we're in at the moment is just it is the best thing currently running in Shonen Jump. I don't think it's better than JJK. It's better than One Piece at this point. I think Under the Luck. Under the Luck's my 4th favorite series at this point, anime manga wise. It is amazing. It really is. Best thing in Shonen Jump at the moment by far. Let's skip the previous Discord. We need a Longius theme to be manhood and leadership. We will. I think we worked that out in the discussion stream. Chin actually had a pretty offensive. I hope the tournament ends. To be honest, What? Do you hope the tournament ends early, or do you mean you hope the ending of the series is the ending of the tournament? Because I hope it isn't the former. Because I don't have an idea. Under the Luck anime is wicked sick. Oh, it bloody is. It's wicked sick. For the anime fighters, Ragnarok, you think Goku counts as a fighter or not, since he isn't human? But I feel like it could be Zeus wants to see what happens, for Buddha. Oh, yeah. I think we're going to go with, if they look human enough, they count. I think that's what we're going to go with. For the Dagda, have to be like Ichibei in his fight with Solomon. Ooh, that could be fun. The only character you can realistically say has weak writing, Fort and Raiden. Honestly, granted, I'm not saying this, but just playing devil advocate. Yeah, Fort definitely has the weakest writing in the series, but then Fort is now getting more character writing after the fact. And round 1 also has a lot. Round 1 has the hook cue. It can't be too long, and it's got to give you a cool bit of action. Basically, round 1 doesn't want to bog you down with long flashbacks because it's trying to get you through the first round to see what a round's like. So round 1, just by necessity, has to kind of be a bit more shallower. That's just how storytelling works. I'm not sure if you started with a more in-depth round that would have hooked people as much. Because again, like a bit like we were saying with Baki and Dragon Ball, I think a lot of the fandom that got into regular Ragnarok are these people that just enjoy a lot of action. And I think a lot of people who came in for that now enjoy it for the storytelling and the backstories, but I think when you first go into the series, the action is what they're trying to hook you on. Hence why round 1 is more action, less storytelling. But Raiden, calling Raiden bad writer, wait till the Raiden video comes out and I'll show you what I mean. Because Raiden is great. Tesla was eugenist law. Yeah, Tesla was not a great guy in real life. What Baki's even about gives me what is King Crimson's ability. Yeah. Even now, King Crimson's ability is... Like, I understand how it works, but like explaining it's so difficult. The first part of the round will have him trying to push Solomon off the arena and fall out of heaven. Bloody hell. Then he fights seriously when he can't push him off the arena. I've got an image in my head and it's very funny. I'm not saying they're not allowed to enjoy the action, but when they deny the existence of any depth in the story, it bothers me. Yeah, that's my thing with Baki. If you enjoy it for the action and you don't care, if you don't care about the deep writing, but you just enjoy the action, I have no issue. It's when you enjoy the action and then you basically make some kind of claim that's all that matters and you're just looking too deep into it and you shouldn't care about any deeper stuff. That annoys me because let people enjoy how they want to enjoy it. I'm letting you enjoy it for the action aspect of it and I want to enjoy it for the storytelling. You can enjoy it for different things. They're not mutually exclusive. You can enjoy both. You can enjoy them individually. I don't really... Yeah, people just like to hate for hating's sake. That's just how it is. We got reverse Attack on Titan situation with JJK going from Mappa to Witch Studio. It's interesting. Very interesting. JJK. I'm not going to say anything because it's not JJK's stream. I don't want to spoil people, but JJK is popping off at the moment and it's great. There's a certain plot loop at the moment that people are getting annoyed about, and I think I disagree. I think the current way the story's structured at the moment is really good. But again, I'm not going to discuss JJK because I don't want to spoil people. I meant Ragnarok actually conclude not being interrupted. Oh, thank God. I was like, you have more sense than to suggest someone that suggests that round 10 is the end and it's a free-for-all after this or something. Yujiro vs Apollo. Will Yujiro see Apollo as a woman and try to smash? The thing about Yujiro is Yujiro sees all men as women anyway. So, yeah, probably. When will the Sakamoto Days anime come out? Who knows? The thing is, though, we've got... It's finally because there was an era of the newer Shonen Jump things. I was just waiting for all of them to get anime. So Under Lux now had its anime. Mashals now had its anime. Yozakura Family has its anime this season. And Sakamoto Days is like the last of that group of mangas where I've been just waiting for an anime. But we know it's confirmed now. Oh, we're seeing early development or something. So I'm sure we'll get it soon. I'm a big JoJo fan, and I remember getting into it and hearing people were confused by King Crimson just from early English translations. Oh god, yeah. If you ever go back and read, like, Diamond Does Not Crash, like, Part 4 translations, or, like, early Part 5 translations, they are rough. They are... I guess why JoJo didn't really take off in the West until the anime came out, because no one had any idea what was going on with those translations. Have you read God Game yet? It's only 87 chapters. The artist dealing with something, so catch up. I have not. I don't think I've ever heard of God Game. I will add it to the list. I will try get on it then. I hope for a 4 spin-off where it follows 4's journey to his boredom. 4 I think could be a really fun one to get a spin-off for, but it does kind of sound like only the humans are getting spin-offs. It doesn't seem like we're going to get any God ones, which is a real shame. Raiden being poorly written. Oh, hell no. Nah. fucking round 5 gets so downplayed. Round 5 is amazing, and people need to understand that. Round 5 for the win, because it's got the frog, it's got the salt frog. I was playing Devil's Advocate. I think him and Shiva are super underrated, and people don't get them. And I think him and Shiva. Okay, I get what you mean now. People don't get them. Sensei beat song for Raiden goes so hard to come battlefield. Yeah, I did like a binge of the Sensei beats like Ragnarok stuff, and it's fire. Remember Shiva controversy. I think I'm going to say goodbye from the stream. I'm going to leave my room now to chat to the guests before my mum catches me and berates me for being in my room. I think we discussed a lot thoroughly. Thank you, Abudi. You're always great in chat. So have fun. We'll probably be ending stream fairly soon. I'll probably wrap it up about past my time. No idea what time is for you guys. But yeah. When isn't JJK popping off? JJK wasn't popping off. There was like a lull in the culling games where it was a bit weird. No, I think even the culling games it was hype. Yeah. JJK's never been slow. See ya, Abudi. Yeah, farewell. Peace, Brody. God, now he's gone. Yeah, Abudi's the heart of these streams. Honestly, Koichi steals no dignity. Oh my god, I've caught up with the chat finally. It was always it's because of that ramble about the No, we're not bringing it back up, but yeah, we had the ramble. But yeah, we've done a bit of discussion for chapter 88. Honestly, not that much. Like, without the lore drops, we didn't actually get that much stuff. Like, really. We just got some Kentucky hype, and it was a lot of hype. Oh, here's a question for chat. Because we got Beelzebub basically saying Buddha would kill him in a fight. Is that Beelzebub being Beelzebub? Or is that, like, the story basically confirming to us that Buddha is just stronger? Because that's been, like, a big argument in the community for a while. Like, who's stronger? Beelzebub or Buddha? So I'm curious what everyone's opinion is. I'm leaning towards Buddha being the strongest. To be fair, I put for Buddha and Beelzebub as, like, the second, third, and fourth strongest gods. And then Poseidon at fifth. Because the further into the story we get, the less impressive Poseidon looks to me. He just looks less and less impressive the further we get into the story. So I just don't have. I used to have him second strongest god. I just really don't now. But yeah, who do you think wins? Beelzebub or Buddha in a fight? Round 5 gets crap on for the Buddha stuff due to people finding that monstrosity. Yeah. Round 5 is a bit like round 10 currently, where there was plot stuff happening outside the round. So, you know, we had a few chapters like looking outside of it, and it was a lot of Buddha hype. But I think we go from the Buddha stuff back into round 5 with, you know, Shiva's arms getting ripped off. So I think that for me, that was really effective at what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Really effective at us getting us re-immersed back into round 5. Round 5 also just has some really fun choreography to it. I also just love the opening of round 5 with the drop kick is one of my favorite double spreads in the series. Because the series really doesn't get many double spreads, does it? God, it doesn't. Did anyone think about that? How few double spreads we get? That is a double spread, right? I'm not just imagining it. I'm almost certain that's a double spread. But yeah, we just don't seem to get them in this series. Round 5 gets crap on for the Buddha stuff. Yeah, we've done that. You need to play the Sense of Beat song in the background, bro. Or do a reaction stream, bro. We might do a reaction stream for it. I don't want to play it in the background. I've had some background music just get claimed on one of the early streams before, and it just got demonetized. I was like, why? Because it played for like 5 seconds. So, you know, when you're a YouTuber, you are paranoid about copyright stuff. So, you know, we might do a reaction stream though. Do some rips. We're not doing any rips because again, we're not doing rips. God damn it. Bit of both. If you could use a Ragnarok fighter's ability in real life, who would you choose? My first Sasaki. The thing is, a lot of them are just combat based. Like Sasaki and Adams are really cool, but outside the combat, they're not particularly useful abilities. And I guess like what is Poseidon is just being fast. Tesla's. If I pick Tesla, do I get his mind? Because Tesla had the mind to like do some apps to make anti-gravity and teleportations. Like that would be pretty lit. Can I pick that? Although Jack's emotion eyes are pretty cool as well. Or be a masochist and get Qin Shi Huang's like pain vision. Be a real masochist about it. What about Shiva and Apollo? Is that in I've no idea what that's in reference to, man. Sorry. The anime helped with the love for round 5. Yeah. Well, I was talking to a mate of mine. Well, actually, it was the first time I was at a con earlier this year. You know me, big con goer, big cosplay. Oh, actually, yeah. Check out the Insta, guys. Yeah, check out the Insta because I've got my cosplay pics of Apollo up there now, and I look sexy as hell as Apollo. But yeah, anyway, I was at a con and I met a guy. I do my usual thing of walk around, go to a con alone, start talking to randos, and then just walk around with those randos all day. Anyway, I was talking about Ragnarok with him, and he'd watched the anime, and I was like, okay, what's your favourite fight? And he said, round 5. And I was blown away because round 5 is so underrated. So there are wild round 5 fans, and the anime seemed to be the reason, which was really good. Do you think Buddha can use Zero to power his weapon again, or is Zero gone from the story? I imagine Zero's gone completely. That would be my guess. I think it'd be a bit cheap if he could still use his powers. But I guess it could just be like, oh, my connection to you so strong it's remained. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Do you think Buddha can use... yeah, we've done that. There were a lot of double spreads early on. Yeah. I don't know why Ragnarok doesn't have many double spreads. Compared to most series, it really doesn't. Honestly, it could go either way. For me, Buddha vs. Beelzebub is like immovable object versus unstoppable force. Yeah, I would use Chin, Okuta, Jakasaki. Why would you want Shinji Huang's? It's with pain vision. Why would you want that? Why would you want the pain vision? It's horrible. It's just me feeling people's injuries all the time. Jax is pretty cool. Sasaki, the thing with Sasaki's though is like, how useful is it in like outside of combat? Like how good is Trace for like general everyday life? Strength-wise, Shiva and Apollo. If we're going like physical stats, then you know, who's the physically strongest character in the series? Like Raiden. Yeah, so Raiden, yeah, probably. And Raiden's like a nice build as well. I think we're gonna probably wrap up stream now, just because I have stuff to do. You know, I do have a social life, guys, outside of doing these streams. Again, apologies that this stream was so late. The Ragnarok stuff took a while, and yeah, we didn't get we didn't get chapter 88 chapter review either. This stream is we got a longer than usual stream, so that's gonna make up for the lack of a video. Deal with it. I don't know if next week's video is going to be the Jack video. I haven't started a video for next week's video yet, so it could be Jack, could be something else. We will see. The anime made the Buddha stuff happen beforehand, so it helped the round. Oh, did the anime do that? Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That. Do I like that though? I'd have to watch the anime and see, because I'd see how the story flows having that stuff before round 5 or not. I know, because I think round 5, even with the cutaway, flows quite well. So I'd have to see. I got good for the gym, bro. Also, got the air bubbles. I don't know. I don't think the air bubbles are worth the pain eyes. I really don't. Seth has a social life. Absolutely brilliant. I do have a social life. I've got to go do a food shop. I've got to do my weekly food shop after this. That's what I'm doing. That's my social life. Going shopping at Aldi. 7-0 round 2 made everything worth it. There we go then. Round 2 was pretty fun, Corey G. And just to think, I don't know. We got a new super chat this stream, so I don't know why, Corey G, you're still up in that corner. I don't know why you're still up there, Corey G, because you should have been dethroned. But remember, guys, that donation's the reason why Corey G was on the fan roster and got to beat the Flying Spaghetti Monster. And for those of you who have not watched the Record of Ragnarok video yet, go watch it because it's got like no views and we need the watch time. So yeah, we're going to be ending the stream here. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll probably see you maybe next week, maybe week after. We'll try get a community. We'll try get like a variety stream out before we get the next chapter review stream.